me. Some of you found me. Yay, yay. Good morning. Let me see if I'm live anywhere that I can be live. And I think I got everything kicked off. Let me know how my sound is, peeps that are hanging out first thing. I think Rockfin went hot. Oh, I don't see it. Come on, Rockfin. Where are you? Yep, there we are. Okay, we're live on Rockfin. Good morning, Rockfinners. Kate, I see you over there. Everybody's going to have to either join me on Rockfin or over on Trailer Park Pundit YouTube channel because we took major strikes this week. We'll talk about it once I get everything up and running. How is everybody this morning? Good morning, Kate, Oz. It's Cold Fusion Gaming. Hey, DC. How's it going? Sound is good. Thank you, DC. DC, you've turned into my kind of my audio guy. Or gal. I don't normally do a sex with a handle like I always do there. Yeah, because I don't know. We don't know. A lot of times we're just guessing on these handles. Gonna jump through the shower, going and fill. Thanks, Kate. Yeah, if you guys could share this out, hit like, make sure that you follow over on the Trailer Park Pundit if you haven't already, because Beauty and the Boomer is going to be down all week. So yeah, we took a strike on Thursday to hell and back. Of course, I had pasta on and we talked about COVID. We were actually talking about that new movie, Died Suddenly. And I think that's what did it. I think it was the video clip. I think that it was the trailer for that movie. And I knew it. I had discernment. I call Oz up Friday morning and I'm like, you know what? I feel like we're going to take a strike for that show if I don't take it down. So I voluntarily took it down myself days before the strike even came in. Like I figured if it's gone off my channel, then there's nothing there for them to strike me over, right? So I took it off of all of our channels on YouTube. I lifted it up everywhere else. And sure enough, I wake up 3:30 this morning and we took a strike and they're like, well, send us the clip so we can review it. And I'm like, there is no clip. Don't you understand that I was a good girl and I took it down before you guys even yelled at me? And now I'm taking a strike again. So sadly, it is the second strike for Beauty and the Boomer channel. I think it's been over a year since our last one. So we're shut down for a week on that channel and we cannot do anything. And then Trailer Park Pundit, they gave me a warning because it's my first one. So, I mean, I only have 100 followers over there, so it's not a big damn thing. So here we are. At first I was just like, screw it. I'm not even going to do a show today. I'm tired. I feel October hungover. I don't know if that's a thing, but it feels like a thing to me today. But there's just so much to talk about, guys. There's so much crazy shit going on. There's always so much crazy shit going on in these broken times we live in that I was like, you know what? Suck it up, pull the shows down that I had scheduled, reschedule everything, rewrite the show, and here we go. Here we are. We're going to do it. We're going to do it anyways. So yeah, if you could help me out by helping us share on Twitter, share. Maybe some people can find us. Most of our followers come in off of Beauty and the Boomers. So that makes me sad. I'm going to not be able to hang out with so many of our friends. But I appreciate you guys finding me. Oh, my crow disappeared. I liked having my crow. Do you see my crow? What should I name him? I should name him something, right? What should I name him? I love crows. I talk to every crow that I see. I'm sad about the strike too. Yeah, it sucks. Damn, screw tube needs a hammer. I agree. We're going to talk about hammers because I've got something really weird that I haven't seen anybody else talking about. So, whatever. You know, it's kind of a badge of honor to me. It's like, it just proves that I'm talking truths, right? I wouldn't be taking strikes if we weren't telling truths. That's really what it comes down to. You know, the establishment's scared. We're telling the truth, you know? So fair freaking use, no matter like it even matters, you know, try to cover our asses the best we can. And it don't really matter. So yeah, copyright disclaimer under section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use. So fair use, I take copyright strike every damn day, but you know, we'll put it out there. New ways to help me out. Well, now that Beauty and the Boomer is down for the next week, you can't give super ray or super chats, you can still help out over on the super rays. That goes to Roar Media, Women in Independent Media. But if you want to help me personally out, hey, you can buy me a coffee, because I am now on Buy Me a Coffee. So it's buymeacoffee.com/trailer park. They wouldn't let me have Pundit, so I just get to be Trailer Park, and that's fine. I am Trailer Park through and through. Or Cash App, Trailer Park Pundit, and or Chime. I like my Chime card. I've never had any problems with Chime, but I have read some bad reviews on Chime. I mean, people saying like, they're just another big bank. Of course they are. Nothing is ever going to change or be accessible for us, lower, how do I say it? Financially lower class people, It's just the way it is. So if you want to buy me a coffee, that'd be great. Or you can check out our link tree. I think it's down in the description below, and you'll get links to, all the stuff that we're doing, all the things we're working on. So there you are. There's our strike. Our team has reviewed your content, and unfortunately, we think it violates our medical misinformation policy. We removed the following content, which is fucking hilarious because there was nothing there for them to remove. What did you remove? You're a liar. You didn't remove shit because I voluntarily removed it myself. Let's see. How does this affect your channel? Your channel now has one strike. You won't be able to do things like upload, post, or live stream for a week. A second strike will prevent you from publishing content for 2 weeks. 3 strikes in 90-day period will result in the channel being permanently removed from YouTube. Well, here's the thing. That was the message from the Beauty and the Boomer channel. And that's technically, I want to say, our second, or maybe we got a warning because it only says 1 strike on the channel. So I don't know if we're down for 1 week or 2 week over there. But of course, we're fine on Trailer Park Pundit because it's our first one. We get a slap on the wrist because I'm a YouTube bad girl. And I'm not the only one who's taken this shit. Scott Ritter, Twitter came after him and shut him down. Of course, if you were paying attention over on AM Wake Up, Dr. McCollins had his credentials pulled. I mean, these guys and their fucking censorship. I never thought in 100 billion years, even if you would have asked me 4 years ago, if we'd be living under these type of Orwellian censorship, I would just be like, oh no, come on. It's America. We have free speech here. Yeah, that's more like China, Russia. No, I hate to break it to y'all. We're worse than China and Russia. Absolutely fucking worse. We have gotten there under the Democrats in the last 4 fucking years. Trump broke their brains, and then when they got power, they just got those authoritarian boots out and they just stomped us. And I'm going to keep going because I'm not here to make money. I'm not here to try to become YouTube famous. I'm here to talk to you guys about the truths that I see out there. Any dumbass, and I say dumbass because I'm a girl from a fucking trailer park, and if I can figure out the truth, any dumbass can figure out the truth if they really want to pay attention and go find the sources. Source, right? I don't ever bring you guys anything that I think is a rumor or misinformation. I actually find the fucking source before I even let it come out my mouth. Is it true? Is it worth saying? These are the things that we guard with, not what YouTube wants. So it is what it is. Made for a pissed off Tuesday morning for me, but yeah, I'm the bad girl of YouTube apparently, because I dropped some truths last week and you're not allowed to do that. So that's why we love Rockfin. We love our Rockfinners. Rockfin has never, ever would even consider doing this type of shit to us. That's why these platforms have got to die. Just like Twitter, everybody, Elon's going to save us. He's going to give us free speech back. I don't see that one fucking bit. I see everybody in our little bubble being censored even more, being shadow banned even harder, and having their accounts ripped out like, Scott Ritter. I got a chance to talk to Scott Ritter when we were in DC. What a very, very nice guy. Honestly, a nice guy. And it's kind of weird when you're talking to a stranger and you followed their work for so long, right? So you feel a connection to them, even though they don't have a clue who you are. So I was kind of on the opposite end of that because I was fangirling out on him, like, oh, thank you for everything you do. What you say and do is so important. And, I just want to thank you for that. And what can you say? But thank you, right? right? People people say that to me, and what can I say? But thank you. But I found him to be a very genuinely nice guy. What a big burly teddy bear, too. Let me tell you, just a big teddy bear. So yeah, that's my bad girl YouTube. So if you guys, I don't know what's going to be this week show wise. I know that we won't be able to do a Beauty and the Boomer on our normal channel next Saturday. So I'll probably let Oz have the day off because he doesn't get very many Saturdays off. And I'll probably do something over here on these channels. If you guys want to come hang out, maybe we'll do a Q&A or something. I don't know. But I'm just going to take the downtime to go ahead and get some more graphics done, to get things rewired that I've been needing to do studio wise that I never have time for. So I'm just going to take the time down to come back even stronger, right? That's all we can do. Yeah, I'm a bad girl. I got some crazy shit for you guys today. I honestly, I didn't even have any show this morning when I woke up, but boy, it sure builds itself. So Caitlin Johnstone, hey, so it turns out that the U.S. intelligence cartel has been working intimately with online platforms to regulate the cognitive infrastructure of the population. Shock me, no freaking way. Yeah, we had this big whistleblower leak that dropped this weekend, yesterday, the day before, right? Where they're saying that all the social media platforms are in cahoots with the government, with the Department of Homeland Security, and they're meeting every month. Well, we knew this. We all knew this. I've been telling you this. Pasta's been telling you this. Steve's been telling you this. I mean, anybody who we hang out with has been telling you that the government has taken over and they're controlling social media, the narratives, who gets banned, what stories get to stay out there. I mean, all the shit we already knew. Well, guess what? It got confirmed. Well, did it really get confirmed, or is it just them getting in the way before, got to get it in front of it? Go get out in front of it. Hey, get back here. So I think that's what this is about. I think that the leak, anytime we see leaks like this, it's bullshit. And, but I mean, the truth's out there, right? We knew what the Dems were doing. We knew that the social media influencers were meeting at the White House. Jen Psaki laid it out there for us and said, yeah, we're meeting with them and telling them who to censor. I mean, this is not shock. This is not news. And I just love all the idiots out there whose brains are melting down because, oh my God. Yeah, it's true. I'd also like to point out that this whole story is going around. So the FBI asked court for 66 years to release the information from Seth Rich's computer. No way. 66 years. It kind of reminds me of the 75 for Pfizer. They just think that if they wait long enough for us to all be dead, that it won't matter, that they lied, they colluded, that, everything that they've done. The Seth Rich breaks my heart. Being inside that campaign at the same time as he was, I remember the exact moment and where I was at when I heard that an information data analyst for the DNC had been shot in the back of the head in DC, right? And I'll never forget that morning because there was stories like just flying around about how it wasn't a robbery, and that he was still alive, and that they had taken him to the hospital. The DC Metro cops had taken him to the hospital, and he was on the second floor. And then all of a sudden they shut down the second floor and nobody was allowed up there. And then you see an article quoting a resident who worked on him, who said, yeah, he was alive when I saw him, but then they tell me he died and I couldn't get back on the floor. I mean, there's all these crazy little things that were happening that day to make you think, And then ever since then, what's come out, if you have any question that Seth Rich was the source for Julian Assange and WikiLeaks, go back and watch the interview with Julian Assange when they point blank ask him. And he does the biggest tell. If you know body language, go watch Julian Assange's body language in that interview. He basically shakes his head and tells the world, yes, Seth Rich was his source. You'll never convince me otherwise. It just pisses me off that his own damn family will not wake up and see what happened. It's terrible, terrible shame. But you know what? Kudos to every person out there that keeps Seth's name alive and keeps, the truth about what he sacrificed for our country, relevant. So that's what I will do till the day I die. When I'm 70 years old, somewhere there'll be a journal that I wrote. Seth Rich, was WikiLeaks' source. You'll never convince me otherwise. Never. Living through it, you'll never convince me. I mean, I was inside the Bernie Sanders campaign. We were getting information in real time. Everything that got leaked. I mean, we knew the shit that was happening. We saw it in real time. So he's an American hero, and I will say that till the day I die. Money and threats can do a lot. I agree with you, DC, for sure. So we had a good Halloween party. Well, actually, it was kind of a shit show, but it was Halloween. Poor Oz. God, we had so many technical problems, right? In these big shows, and then having so many people come in. You guys know audio is Satan, right? And every person comes in with a different type of audio, different microphone, different configuration. And that's why in all of our shows, not just our shows on Roar, but all of our shows, you see some people come in, you can't hear them, they're clipping, they have to go out, they have to come back in. It's not just us. This audio is Satan, and every audio source is different. So that's why sometimes they're loud, sometimes they're quiet. Poor Oz, he did a great job. Oz, of trying to juggle that shit show and keep us moving. I had fun. I think everybody had fun. Of course, I was Lady Marmalade from Moulin Rouge. And let's see who else. We had Pelosi stop by, the House drinker, and Liz Truss with the Bride of Chucky. That was a combo there. Of course, we had Jilly and Kate. They turned up with really cute costumes, and so many of you guys were hanging out in the chat, and we had a good time. It was a good show. We had a lot of Rothschild shit to talk about. I'm not allowed to talk about that, but I'm a YouTube bad girl. So, so then yesterday, I got to hang out with the grandkids and do the whole Halloween vibe thing. What fun. They were both Spider-Man characters. And of course, my partner, he's a streamer too. So he did a stream as a bag of bones. That's what you want to call it. So we had a good Halloween. I hope everybody out there had a good Halloween. I hope some of y'all too hung over this morning. I know how I used to get. Oh my God, the day after Halloween, I have some hangover memories from the day after Halloween. So glad I don't do that anymore. But I have a YouTube hangover this morning, man. It's giving me a headache. Okay, let's talk about headlines I don't care to cover. Crazy Cat says it's a GOP conspiracy to convince the people that crime is rising. Yeah, it's a conspiracy. Crime is not rising. That's just in your head. And let's see. Oh, Biden accuses oil companies of war profiteering and threatens a windfall tax on them. We live in such a cartoon, guys. I mean, all you have to do is open your eyes to know that crime is on the rise, right? When people suffer, it becomes easier to do things that you normally wouldn't do. And that's why crime rises, right? When you need something, Oh, great. Hot photos of your sister. 18 sex XYZ. No hot photos of your sister. No, not here. I've already in enough trouble with YouTube. But so if one of our chats could put him in a little timeout, please keep your hot photos of your sister to yourself. Thank you. Any plans for tonight? I think I'll stay home and get hammered. Dude, this story is much like Jeffrey Epstein. I do not plan on killing myself. Right. I will not be shocked if this guy ends up suicided. Right. But this story, the official narrative has just been like he was attacked. It came out of nowhere. He was in bed minding his own business. And then there was a guy with a hammer that wanted to knock out Pelosi's knees, but Pelosi wasn't home. That's the story they want you to believe. And I brought you the press conference from last night from the DA, because this one dropped really late. And I think it dropped late last night because they really didn't want a lot of people seeing it. So let's see if my audio is working on my media. You guys let me know halfway through the clip if I don't have any audio. I'd appreciate it. Oh, come on. Let's try again.
I am here today to formally announce charges against Mr. David DePape in connection with the violent attack on Mr. Pelosi. What is clear based on the evidence that we have thus far is that this House and the Speaker herself were specifically targets of the defendant. He forced his way into the home through a rear glass door by breaking that glass. The defendant made his way upstairs to the second floor of the home, locating Mr. Pelosi in his bed sleeping. He woke him up, confronting him about the whereabouts of Speaker Pelosi. It was at some point after that Mr. Pelosi asked to go to the bathroom, which is where he was able to call 911 from his cell phone. 2 police officers arrived at the front door 2 minutes after that 911 call. When that door was opened, the defendant was holding his hammer, which Mr. Pelosi appeared to be attempting to control by holding a portion of that hammer. The defendant then pulled the hammer away from Mr. Pelosi and violently struck him in the top of his head. The police then immediately apprehended the defendant. The charges that we are filing today include attempted murder, residential burglary, assault with a deadly weapon, elder abuse, false imprisonment of an elder, as well as threats to a public official and their family. Yes, it appears as though this was based on his statements and comments that were made in that house during his encounter with Mr. Pelosi, that this was politically motivated. That as leaders and as citizens, it is incumbent upon us all to watch the words that we say and to turn down the volume of our political rhetoric.
Who the hell is she to tell us that?
We should be able to all engage in passionate political discourse, but still remain respectful of one another. Violence certainly has no place in San Francisco.
That I agree with.
Or in politics.
Who the hell is she to tell us we have to turn down our rhetoric about politics? Honey, you're a prosecuting attorney. You get to file charges. That's it. Elder abuse, that one kind of shocked me. That shows me that they want to bury this guy, right? Because they threw every charge that they could make stick on him. And, we heard the tape. He's a friend. He's a friend. Where the hell does this come from? Who's the person who opened the door and let the cops in 2 minutes? 2 minutes in San Francisco. You tell me anywhere in San Francisco that a 911 call is going to get responded to in 2 effing minutes. It ain't happening. So we know the type of security that Pacific Heights has. If you've ever been to Pacific Heights, it's the mega rich, right? Their houses are all secured. I mean, they got their alarm systems. They've got their actual security out front on the perimeter of their property. They're trying to say that, oh, well, the DC Metro detail that Pelosi has wasn't there because she was in DC. You're not going to convince me that Nancy Pelosi does not have 24-hour security on her freaking properties, especially after what happened 2 or 3 years ago, right? When they painted poop all over her house. Poopy Pelosi. I mean, I'm not buying any of this. This is a political ploy. We know it. And then what the hell was up with the reporting that Pelosi died? I wake up yesterday morning. I look at Twitter and I go, what? Pelosi died? I thought he just got knocked in the head and he was going to make a full recovery, right? They told us that with Anne Hathaway too, or Anne Heche. Oh, she's going to make a full recovery. A week later, she was dead. Well, I'll go, what? Well, I kind of felt like the same thing with this Pelosi thing. I wake up, I'm like, what? Who said he was dead? Well, it was New York Post apparently that reported he was dead, but I don't even know if they've retracted that. So crazy. This is so crazy. So we all are in agreement. Something bigger is going on right here, right? I mean, I think so, but I don't know what it is. Maybe they were just trying to get fundraising sympathy for the midterm, oh, look, we were attacked, poor us. Well, then I got sent this crazy tweet from a QAnon friend of mine. Well, like, that's not fair. He's not really QAnon, but I know that he subscribed to the QAnon stuff. Oh, where did it go? Let me find it. Come on. Okay. So a little piece of me is wondering if something about Hammer's scorecard was supposed to drop before the midterms. All this talk of Hammers sure would throw off the Google search for Hammer scorecard, if you know what that is, if you've been paying attention. So what is Hammer scorecard? And we all know that hammer is like the key word everybody's talking about, right? If I had a hammer, I'd hammer in the morning. Everybody's saying hammer, hammer. It's in all the tweets, hammer. So that would actually work to drown out a Google search of Hammer scorecard. So let's see what it is. I brought just a little. So the hammer and the application that works, we'll call a scorecard, is designed to change votes on the fly. Now I have to be careful because I already took a YouTube strike this week. I don't want to take one for election misinformation, right? So this has been debunked by all of those important fact checkers, Politico, you guys know, all the people we're told we're supposed to absolutely 100% believe. So they say that this is total BS. But anyways, so basically what this hammer scorecard is it's a program that would allow the state totals to be reported via the internet for your vote, right? The data is grabbed in real time, changed, and set on its way. This happens in microseconds. It's not going into the technical details of how it happens. Just realize that the data is changed so quickly in the favor of whoever's candidate is told to favor that no one notices a delay and just accepts the total. This has been on in numerous states, including battleground states, during the election, the whole election, and it's still going on as votes are being counted and reported. So you guys can go out there and do your own research into Hammer Scorecard, and you're going to see maybe a reason why they wanted hammer on everybody's minds. I don't know. I'm just bringing you conspiracy that I see and that I've been told. So there we are. If anybody remembers what the hammer scorecard is as we come into this election. So not my conspiracy, just telling you it's out there. I'm not saying it's real. So fuck off, YouTube. Let's see. Oh, let me go back. I want to go back to where I was. Okay. Let's declare a pandemic amnesty. What is this shit? Steve and Pasta covered this really well this morning. We need to forgive one another for what we did and said when we were in the dark about COVID. And yeah, this article is worth vomiting. Of course, it comes from The Atlantic. We all know about The Atlantic. And if you don't know, maybe you should do some research into who they are and what they stand for. But I just love Salty's take on this. Can't do better than Salty in the morning. He always sets my mood for the day. Oh, come on. My wife's jumping around today.
At my signal, unleash hell.
Oh, hell no. You out of your mind. You sound vaccinated and quadruply boosted if you think that we are going to give you idiots on the left-hand side a pandemic amnesty. This tweet's all over the place, and I was absolutely convinced that this was a troll and that it was a meme because, damn, that's a dumb thing to say. If we had just continued to listen to you, if we refused, if us purebloods refused to stand up to you dipshits, we would still be in a medical martial law tyranny right now. The only reason why we outed this, the only reason why the pandemic ended is because we ended it. It's because we stood up to you, you fucking Karen tyrants, and we shut you the hell down. We mocked and ridiculed you. We went up against an apparatus of trillions of dollars worth of corporate media powers, big tech oligarchs, and we destroyed you with memes. And now you come crying, oh my God, this for cereal. Stop being mean this to me. We didn't know. That's where that you didn't know. That's where that you didn't know. It's weird that we've got a group of people who knew everything in regards to the stupid pandemic, the fucking sniffles, and your stupid experimental injection. It's weird that a shit ton of people knew exactly what was going on, and they were silenced on Twitter, silenced on YouTube, silenced on Facebook, mocked and ridiculed by the mainstream media press, attacked by you Karen mask-wearing cock.
I cut it off before he got too nasty, but he's absolutely right. We had it right. We reported it in real time. Every bit of this to you guys. I mean, you can go back. The receipts are there. They're all on the Rockfin. Some are on the Rumble. We knew in real time, and we told you in real time. And now they want amnesty because it's starting to come out that they were wrong, that they were fucked up, that their reaction was wrong. I just, I think they had a great conversation with Ryan Christensen this morning from The Last American Vagabond. And I kind of agree with him on a lot of this. We have to be the bigger people here and not be like they are, right? And be like, oh, you deserve punishment. But we have to make them accountable for their lies and for the misinformation that they spread. And as a result of that, what we went through, here I am still dealing with medical misinformation strikes when we know the truth. The truth is slowly creeped out there. We don't ever tell you anything that doesn't have a source behind it. I mean, this is just Orwellian insanity that we live in, guys. And yeah, they just want amnesty. Oops, we were wrong. Oops, we screwed up. Forgive us. After how many people have paid with their life. That's really what it comes down to. This was a funny meme. And then we made the brain chip guy their new hero. Oh my God. Banished. Yes, I am banished. Thank you, DC. I'm banished. I'm just hanging out here with my crow. Me and my crow are hanging out. He's a good crow, though. He's a good boy. So, yeah, everybody that thought Elon was going to save the internet and save Twitter, what do you think now? What do you think? Especially over in our little bubble, because, man, I swear to God, the hits have gotten worse over there since he took over. I don't think it's any better. And it's not going to get any better. If anything, it's going to get much, much worse, guys. Much worse. You think Elon, the poster boy for subsidies and hand in hand with the military industrial complex, is going to stand up to our U.S. government and tell them, no, we're allowed to say what we want? That is not what's going to happen. You got to remember the guy has these, satellites hand in hand with the government. He is the government, basically. Who do you think enriched him? Who do you think gave him all that money? The same government you think he's going to stand up to. And speaking of that, Stephen King will not be paying $20 a month for Twitter. So apparently Elon's saying that now going forward, you can buy a blue check for $20 a month. And I sent it to Oz and said, look, for $20 a month, we can be somebody, Oz. Who listens for me, it's quite the opposite. If you have a blue check, then I'm dismissing anything you say or do, right? That's just, oh, you got a blue check, well then you're one of those guys that's full of shit. That's the way I look at it. So yes, mass stars are leaving Twitter in droves just so they can go to some other stupid social media platform and cry and spew the same bullshit, right? It doesn't hurt me either way. Bye. So guess who's in Seattle or was in Seattle? I don't know. Maybe she's left by now. Vice President Kamala Harris stopped by Seattle this weekend. And Rebel News was on the street. Now, Rebel News is very far right. They crack me up, though, watching some of the stuff they do. And they were out on the street doing interviews and just asking people to name the number one thing that Harris has done since she's been in office. And when you know, none of them fucking could name one thing. Not one thing. So let's watch this.
What's your name?
Johanna Baxter.
Can you name one Kamala Harris accomplishment?
One Kamala Harris accomplishment. You know, the electric buses she talked about.
The electric buses she talked about.
Besides electric buses?
Oh, well, I gotta go.
You gotta go?
I gotta go.
Katie Davis Court reporting for Rebel News on the ground today in Seattle, Washington, where Vice President Kamala Harris is visiting to campaign for Senator Patty Murray ahead of midterm elections. So
Patty Murray.
What a great opportunity.
Mom in tennis shoes.
It would be to ask the people of Seattle, living in the most progressive city in America.
The most progressive city in America.
A single accomplishment by Vice President Kamala Harris or President Joe Biden. Let's find out to see what they have to say. Can you name a single Kamala Harris accomplishment?
Oh, I don't like her. She's scary. Yeah.
Why?
That crazy laugh. I think she's danger.
We did it. We did
Danger.
it, Joe. You're going to be the next president of the United States.
Yeah.
What about the Biden administration? Have you watched any of his press conferences?
Yeah, he's senile. He's not fit to be in charge, and neither is she.
I have not made that formal decision, but it's my intention to run again. And we have time to make that decision.
Dr. Biden is for it. Mr. President. Oh,
Dr.
wake 'em up.
Biden thinks that, my wife thinks that, that we're doing something very important.
How do you feel about Kamala Harris, the vice president, being here?
All right, honestly, I totally forgot about Kamala Harris.
Can you name an accomplishment that she has achieved?
I think she's helped President Biden push through a lot of his initiatives.
Oh,
both in
yeah.
Congress and in other places.
Can you name one
sound
accomplishment
is
that
low.
she has achieved?
I think of a good one. I'm really excited about all the stuff that she's doing. I'm bringing more awareness to. Look, now you got me. Wait, I'm stuck. I got stuck in my head.
I know. No one can name an accomplishment.
No, I know that what she's done though.
Can you name any accomplishments?
Oh, a ton. Yeah.
A ton.
Environment, climate. I don't.
What are some examples?
Oh my God! That's so tricky. She's just such a fabulous leader. Like
Ugh.
being accomplishment is being a fabulous human being to lead the free world.
Yeah. So what are some examples?
Well, she.
Besides today's school bus.
Oh, besides the state, I mean, just how that vote that she took on climate in Congress this summer to break the tie to get more of this. She gets it.
More of this. What is this? Anyways, yeah, they couldn't come up with anything other than when she talked about electric buses. I can't think of anything. How is it the middle income folks have better home security than multifamily? Yeah, right. That's a good point. Do you see? Yeah. Harris, what has she done? She hasn't done shit. If anything, she kept Joe from falling off the stage last week. Did you see that where she did the big faced when he went for the edge, and yeah, she kind of stared him back. But what has she done? What has she done? She toes the line like she's supposed to. Not one person ever voted for her to be where she is at. If you want the truth about Harris, it's out there via her having an affair with the then mayor of San Francisco, Big Willie Brown. And that's how she got her first appointment. And then from there, she made history, right? So yeah, she pretty much, and I can say this as a woman, slept her way to the top. She did. You'll never convince me otherwise. She didn't do the time. She didn't do the work. She got appointed. She jumped ahead. And now here she is, the vice cackling president of America. She gave us more climate. Yeah, she probably did. She probably did. Okay, we already went over that. So these are a couple of things that are just absolutely stupid. And I thought I had to bring them to show you guys. So dangerous pose. After this picture was taken, the woman fell from the apartment balcony, broke both of her legs, as well as suffered fractures to her arm, hip, and head. She broke 110 bones and underwent 11 hours of surgery following this fall. She will face years of recovery. Woman falls off balcony while practicing extreme yoga pose for pictures. Report. How stupid. Was it worth it? And I love this one. My kids' school sent a note home saying that they can wear Halloween costumes to school tomorrow as long as they don't cover their face because it will hinder them from the learning environment. I was waiting for the punchline at the end of it, but apparently they didn't see the irony in their message. Can you imagine? This is the freaking world we're living in. Yeah. My kids' school said they can't wear face masks. They can't wear a mask for Halloween because it will hinder their learning environment. Brought to you by the same people that have told you for the last 2.5 years that face masks save lives, right? Medical misinformation if I say that is just a myth, right? I got to be really careful about what I say because we're still under that. But the irony, yeah, not lost, is it? Oh, this was a report I had on here from last week, but it's important, so I didn't want to get rid of it. Let's talk about it. So, shortage of liquid amoxicillin for children. Now, as a mom and a grandmother, this is a lifesaver go-to when you have a sick child. I hate big pharma and I talk shit about big pharma, but when you got a screaming kid with an ear infection, there's nothing more important than a bottle of fucking bubblegum flavored amoxicillin. And we got shortages, guys, and nobody's talking about it.
Right now, a very popular antibiotic commonly used to treat bacterial infections in children is now in short supply.
3 of the top 4 makers of the antibiotic amoxicillin are now reporting supply constraints here in the United States. Amoxicillin is usually prescribed for illnesses like ear and throat infections, and it comes in several forms. But doctors say children generally take the liquid form of the drug, which is where most of the shortages are occurring right now. That's according to drug manufacturers. The FDA says it's working with pharmaceutical companies to fix the problem.
So maybe we should stop making vaccines a priority and start like worrying about stuff that actually saves our kids. I don't know, just a thought, but that's scary. That's a scary thought as a parent, that there could be a time when your kid's sick and you go to the doctor and you can't get amoxicillin for a simple ear infection, right? I mean, a lot of us, I raised kids without insurance. So, I knew all the tricks and hacks to help with an earache or, strep throat, and, keeping your kids healthy, being proactive, keeping them healthy was the way to go. And echinacea was a lifesaver for me when the kids were little. Echinacea, garlic, garlic pots, the little nutty pots. Oh, that hurts just thinking about it. So I have to talk about Harvey Weinstein, guys. We haven't talked about Harvey Weinstein. And with everything that I've covered over the last 2.5, 3 years, Harvey is one of those things that we've talked about. Well, now this new trial, of course, it's closed. So the information we get is coming out the day as it's coming out, it's coming out of the trial. Oh my God, it's so salacious. Oh my God, you thought the Jeffrey Epstein stuff was mind blowing? I have to give you guys viewer discretion at this point, because some of the things we're going to talk about, like Harvey Weinstein's rotting gonads. That's the only way I can describe it. He has gangrene in the gonads, and they had to like sew them into his legs so they'd heal. We'll get there. We'll get there. So on the same floor in LA that the trial for Danny Masterson and Scientology is going on, right down the hill or right down the hall, is the Harvey Weinstein. Now, this case has got a bunch of women from LA and from Hollywood, right? He was already convicted in New York. That's where his first conviction came from. Now he's being tried in LA for offenses in LA. Well, one of those accusers that has come forward is none other than Gavin Newsom's wife, Jennifer Newsom. Now, the prosecuting attorney, they laid it out how these victims, they're being re-victimized, but it's time that they come forward and make him pay for using the casting couch the way he did, blah, blah, blah. And they're just saying it was straight up essay. He just straight up essayed them. Well, Harvey's defense, which is shitty and shady as it is, I think they might have a little bit of a leg to stand on, is saying these women knew damn well what they were doing. They were trading sex for opportunities to be in movies, opportunities to advance their careers, opportunities to have Harvey owe them a favor, whatever it was. They knew damn well what they were doing when they did it. And the fact that some of these women came forward 5 years later, it's a little shoddy. So, who's really covering this trial and all the trials excellent is Emily Baker. If you're not subscribed to the Emily Baker channel and you love true life crime and court drama, please go follow Emily Baker. She does the most comprehensive breakdown of anybody I have seen. And of course, I watched the Johnny Depp trial with her. She's a former prosecuting attorney for LA, and now I think she has her own private practice, but she's amazing. So here's a little breakdown of the opening statement, the defense's opening statement. And it's kind of hard for her to get through. It's a little long, but I promise you'll be shocked after you hear it. Oh, come on. Just play.
This is the defense attorney in opening, according to Deadline, claimed that, quote, an asteroid called the Me Too movement struck with such ferocity that everything changed overnight, and Mr. Weinstein became the epicenter of the Me Too movement. Quote, the accusers in this case, women who willingly played the game. Oh, no, I think that's a typo. I think that's got to be played the game by the rules that applied back then. They will come into this courtroom now with their lawyers in tow and claim they were raped and sexually assaulted. They have to lie to themselves to make what they did consensually back then seem like it was forced upon them. It goes on. It goes on. Emily, just keep going. Just keep going. Just keep going. Just keep going. This is not the end of the opening. He told jurors that they would not see any eyewitness corroboration of the sexual assault claims, nor would there be forensic evidence. Quote, you will not see a single Jane Doe reported to the police that she had been sexually assaulted until 5 years after the fact. Gee, I wonder why that is. Okay, keep going. Keep going. Quote, you will see reams of emails and texts from the very women who accuse him of sexual assault, asking him for future meetings, expressing regret that they didn't see him, and asking for favors. He went through the list of accusers in an effort to cast doubts on their claims. That included Jennifer Newsom, wife of Governor Gavin Newsom. Worksman said that Sybil Newsom, Jennifer Newsom, identified as Jane Doe 4, had consensual sexual relations with Weinstein because she wanted help getting roles and producing films. Quote, I'm reading what this attorney said. I'm going to try to say this without rage. This is what's being argued to this jury. Quote, she made herself a prominent victim in the Me Too movement. Otherwise, she'd be just another bimbo with Weinstein to get ahead in Hollywood.
Oh, come on. She did get ahead.
The defense attorney in his opening referred to Jennifer Newsom's claim that she went limp and quote unquote dead inside when Weinstein allegedly raped her. But
I believe
he
that.
claimed that she faked an orgasm with Weinstein during the alleged assault.
I believe
She
that.
did not communicate lack of consent, just the opposite. Weinstein actually and reasonably believed that she had consented due to the fake orgasm. That
What?
was in their
He was a
opening.
normal guy?
That was their opening. The defense attorney also noted that Jennifer Newsom later sent Weinstein an email thanking him for inviting her and Newsom to a party. Quote,
you.
she brought her husband to a party with the man who raped her. Who does that? Well, this is okay. There's more to the article. Sorry. I'm reining it in. And then we're going to talk about power dynamics.
I think it's her clipping.
He also noted that Weinstein donated to Newsom's campaigns for mayor of San Francisco and for lieutenant governor. He took money from his wife's rapist to advance his political campaigns. That's the type of stuff you're dealing with in this case. End quote from opening statements. The article goes on to point out that it's unclear if Jennifer Newsom told her husband of the allegations. Not most, in my experience, victims of assault always disclose that to their partners.
Okay, so there was a little bit in there to unpack. So one of the main victims is Jennifer Newsom. Now, the defense is saying, who emails back and forth and asks their essayist for support, help, for one, who goes to a party with that person, and not only that, brings her husband and then takes campaign contributions to not just one of Newsom's campaign, but all of his campaigns. Both of them got big donations from Harvey Weinstein. I think the defense actually is onto something here. I mean, would the victim go and tell her husband? Probably not. But 5 years after the fact, once you've been trading on that back and forth that you had with Harvey Weinstein, we all know the casting couch is real, but we know, as terrible as it is, I think some of these women used it to get ahead. They knew. It was no secret. It was no secret in Hollywood what Weinstein was about. Back in the late 90s, I had heard and known that Weinstein was like that. I mean, Courtney Love wrote Celebrity, what was that song? Pound of Flesh, Do You Want a Piece of Me? She wrote that song because of Harvey Weinstein. I mean, I think these things were well known. I'm not saying anything. Maybe she is a ladder climber. She did just marry Newsom not too long ago, right? Didn't they get married like 4 years ago? Big wedding. I remember something about that. I don't know, but we'll see as this trial progresses, because now we're just in the beginning phases. But it gets much worse, guys, because over on Popcorn Planet yesterday, you had Andy Signor and the crew talking about how the jury, they're not sequestered yet because we're still in the middle of this trial, right? They're not deliberating, which means they're not in the back room talking about it. They're not, the facts haven't been all presented. But what they had to do yesterday was take these 30 pictures of Weinstein's groin, I guess that's the way I'll say it, into the back room and look at them so they could get an idea of if the testimony that's coming from these witnesses is accurate description of what's going on in his private area. So let's hear from these guys. And I do say viewer discretion on this one. If y'all are eating lunch, or you might not want to listen to this because it will gross you out. So here we go.
Gave us this tweet on Friday.
All right, so let's break this down. Here's the tweet. Currently happening Harvey Weinstein's SA trial in LA. The jury is back, and the jury room is examining 30 photos of Weinstein's, we're going to call them his boys, and the area around it. The judge says at least 10 or 15 minutes, maybe longer. DA tells the next witness in the hallway. The photos are being entered as evidence through a stipulation by prosecutors and Weinstein's lawyers. There also is a description of Weinstein's scars and the surgery he had for gangrene that changed his boys. The photos are being passed around through the jury box in an envelope so each juror could look individually, but then they all realized 20 people looking through 30 photos separately is going to take forever. So the judge said, go back to the jury room. This is the closest I've ever seen to jurors deliberating way before all the evidence is in. Maybe I'm just seeing too many trials, but I am stunned no one objected to the jury looking at these photos all together in the jury room. This is really close to the deliberations. The juries were given no admonishments about they can or can't talk about when they're back in the jury room privately, looking at these 4 photos of Weinstein's deformed genitalia without a judge, DA, or defense present. And all the alternative jurors are also in too. Literally never. Very odd, especially within the instruction. I guess asking someone in a legal field to get feedback on this. Mike, to the jurors get hazard pay, but at least ask. Okay, there's several things I got to unpack from this. I mean, I got to start with what on earth? He has gangrene testicles attached to the side of his leg, Christopher? Is that what we've learned?
Yeah, so he had this condition called Fournier gangrene, which is a necrotic infection, meaning that it degrades the tissue.
Oh,
okay? God. And so, and that could have come from a urinary tract infection or from injury to his privates. And so these got infected. It's again necrotic, so the skin, the tissue is dying. And I guess to save his manhood or whatever, his bits and pieces, that instead of amputating it, that they relocated temporarily these circular objects into his thigh, into what are called anteromedial thigh pouches. So anteromedial is kind of front and center of his thigh, that they created pouches and they inserted these circular things of his into those pouches to keep blood flow and circulation going to them, so they could deal with the infection. Once the infection cleared, that they would then relocate those to the place that God intended.
Okay, so what the hell is up with all of these guys having mutated genitalia? We talked about this with Epstein too, remember? Like the girls could describe to a T what was going on with this little mushroom freaking egg-shaped thing. And we've heard this about Weinstein, but we didn't know it was this bad. He had gangrene testicles. They didn't want to chop it off, so they shoved him in his leg so that way he could, adrenochrome is a hell of a drug. Look at these people, man. It's just like gross. So as that story progresses, as that trial progresses, I will bring you more salacious headlines that are coming out of it. We'll probably do a recap. I'm going to do a lot more trial shows, especially since I've been taking hits. But I want to thank everybody who's found us. I have about the same amount of viewers as that I have when I'm on our main channel. So thank you guys for finding the alternative channel to watch me on this morning. I appreciate you guys more than I can say, and just goes to prove we can move forward, you know. Oh yeah, this one made me sick when I heard it. Oh God. And can you imagine some of the stuff that's going to come out during this trial? So I'm watching this one. I'll bring you guys the info as it drops. And of course, we got the Danny Masterson case too, which is pretty salacious too, especially because it really shows Scientology for the multi-level marketing cult that it is. So maybe Thursday we'll do an update instead of a to hell and back. Maybe we'll do a CC Gals type of update. So that, yeah, it does suck. Thanks, Gamer. Welcome, Gamer. Hey, Devil. Welcome, Devil. Hope you had a good Halloween, everybody. This is another one that's hard to watch, guys. So I have to warn you, if you love Bill Murray, this one's going to break your heart, because we've been hearing rumblings that Bill Murray was one of those creepo, pedophily guys for years. I just thought he was a brilliant comic. I mean, you go back to the days of SNL. What About Bob in the 80s? I thought was the most brilliant movie ever. I mean, the stuff that this man has created comedy wise, but to find out that he's just a fucking creeper behind the scenes really turned me off. And I had heard that, right? Because he was recently on a movie. They had to shut down production. There was complaints filed. And then this resurfaces. It's an old Arsenio Hall interview that him and Gina Davis did. Now, just you watch it. I won't even explain it. You'll see it for yourselves.
Oscar-winning actress Gina Davis has just come out with a memoir, and in it she shares difficult moments from her early career, including with actor Bill Murray, when she says he was so inappropriate, she wishes she'd walked out. An old Arsenio Hall clip featuring Davis and Murray now is just downright creepy in light of her book.
It's the cringeworthy, long-forgotten TV appearance in which Bill Murray can't keep his hands off Gina Davis. And it's shedding new light on the actress's claims about Murray's behavior when she auditioned for a movie role in a hotel suite.
It was a lot like this, in fact, yeah.
Really? He touched you a lot in the audition?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
No, I swear. I swear. The first thing he did was like take my shirt out of my pants and start tickling my stomach.
Davis also spoke about Murray insisting on using a massage device during the audition.
It's called the thumper.
The thumper. And he says, you should try this. I'm going to massage your back with this thing. And I'm thinking, no way. You know, this is this. Oh, excuse me.
The shocking appearance took place in 1990 on the Arsenio Hall show. And today, the Oscar-winning actress is promoting her new memoir, Dying of Politeness, in which she writes about the massage. I said no multiple times, but he wouldn't relent. I would have had to yell at him and cause a scene if I was to get him to give up trying to force me to do it. The other men in the room did nothing to make it stop. Over the years, Murray has been dogged by allegations of inappropriate behavior. In April, he was accused by a woman of kissing and straddling her on the set of the new movie Being Mortal, according to a published report.
Production was shut down, and this is the first time you're talking. I just wonder what happened.
I did something I thought was funny, and it wasn't taken that way.
And now no one's laughing about this just unearthed creepy clip.
No, I swear.
Yeah, he's looking a little dream and chromed out too, if you ask me. They kind of get that just ghoulish look on of them, right? The eyes, the face. Maybe it's just his age, but sorry if I just broke your love of Bill Murray. But what the hell were we thinking in the 90s and 80s that this shit was okay? How could any of us have watched that in real time and not thought, what a creeper? Really? Were we that broken as a society? Because it just, I don't get it. I don't get how, I mean, we knew it was bad back then, right? We knew it was wrong, that is uncomfortable for a woman to sit through. Why nobody called it out then? I don't know, but we're calling it out now, I guess. So sorry if I broke Bill Murray for you. I've kind of known that he was a creeper for a while now. There's a bunch of them out there that I could ruin for you guys. I'm not even kidding. I could ruin some of your favorite actors and actresses of all time. The things I know about Hollywood, you don't want to know, especially if you enjoy movies. Like there's what is it? Rick and Morty. Everybody tells me how brilliant Rick and Morty is. Yeah, Rick and Morty is brilliant. I will give you that. But I will tell you that those responsible for Rick and Morty are some of the sickest minds out there. I mean, and they're never held to account. Some of these people have just been able to walk away with no repercussions at all for the shit that they've pulled. So maybe their time's going to come. Maybe they'll stop doing this crap. I don't know. Yeah, the poor woman is so uncomfortable. You know, Gina Davis left Hollywood shortly after that, and she stayed gone out of Hollywood for 20 years. She was one of the best actresses of the freaking 90s. I mean, you had Thelma and Louise and, you know, what was it? Cutthroat Island. That one took a lot of shit, but she was a really good actress, and especially comedies, right? But she just disappeared. And I think it was a lot of the casting couch shit that drove a lot of these women out. I mean, if you like Selma Hayek, I hate to break it to you, she got her parts by doing the casting couch with Harvey Weinstein. Gwyneth Paltrow, her too. I mean, if you got a award for being in a Harvey Weinstein movie, we know how you got into that movie. I mean, that is the underlying secret of Hollywood. So hate to break Hollywood for you guys. Oh, do you guys see this story? I've talked about this story in the past, but it's kind of it's bubbling to the surface a little more. So there's this kid, and I say kid because he looks like a kid, does not look like a kid, who filed a deed to some of Epstein's properties, and he was trying to steal them. And he filed on the Zorro Ranch in New Mexico, right? But he lives in Florida. So let's just hear this clip, and this is just a weird case.
A Florida man KRQE News 13 exposed in an investigation for fraudulently filing deeds for Jeffrey Epstein's New Mexico ranch is now accused of hiring a hitman to cover up his federal crimes. KRQE News 13 investigative reporter Gabrielle Burkhart shows you the most recent twist in Epstein's infamous property.
Mystery, money, and sex scandals surround this sprawling ranch near Stanley, New Mexico, once owned by convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
One can only speculate, and I have to tell you, Gabrielle, my staff, you know, this has been a difficult topic for us to tackle, thinking about what state land might have been used for.
The billionaire's 33,000 square foot mansion has sat empty since Epstein's death in a correctional facility 3 years ago. And in a bizarre twist last year,
I have in front of me a warranty deed.
KRQE Investigates uncovered Epstein's $27.5 million Zorro Ranch had a fake deed attached to it, filed in Santa Fe County.
It's the same people that filed the fraudulent warranty deed in Florida.
The man behind the fake deed is 24-year-old Florida resident Alexander Lazinski. Florida records show he was arrested years ago for stalking and battery. Then in April, he was indicted on 8 counts of federal charges, including wire fraud, bank fraud, and money laundering. Court records show he used fake charitable entities like Love and Bliss Church to try and deed himself expensive properties across the country, including Epstein's New Mexico and Palm Beach properties.
They think that they can get in and maybe then start selling off pieces and portions of it and get away with it. And then it would just perpetuate the fraud because new innocent owners would come in, give these people money, and then be part of this scheme and not actually own that. So I think it's great that you caught it because hopefully you've stopped it in its tracks.
A federal indictment shows Lazinski also took advantage of the government's pandemic assistance loans and was awarded at least 2 Paycheck Protection Program loans in 2020 and 2021. The first for $97,700 and another for $98,000. Investigators say he tried to deposit hundreds of thousands of dollars in worthless checks into accounts he operated. Then, just today, the federal government announced Lazinski tried to hire a hitman to kill 2 witnesses in his case. He's now facing murder for hire and obstruction of.
How strange is this case? So I remember when I covered it in the past, they were like a cult, right? This Church of Love, whatever. It's a nonprofit. But my question is, if you're going to quick deed to try to steal some money and some property, why would you do it with such an infamous case like Jeffrey Epstein, and especially the Zorro Ranch, which is, I mean, I took a deep dive into that Zorro Ranch, and when she says this case is hard to work because you're worried about what happened on state land, that's exactly that. It was and is state land. The property adjacent to that land is owned by the Kings, which are a huge, I want to say, is it meat? No, I think they're in the meat business. One of them was the governor of New Mexico some years back. I mean, all this property is either owned by the state or it's owned by these big elites who just lent it to Epstein. Like, oh, you need to build an airstrip? Go ahead, you can borrow our land. No big deal. Just build yourself an airstrip. I mean, it's absolutely crazy what has gone on out at that Zorro Ranch too. I mean, a lot of us have talked about it over the years. The baby making factory that he wanted to have out there, might have had out there. I mean, I won't be surprised if 20 years from now we find out that there's a whole harem of Epstein kids. I will not be shocked at all. I mean, his goal was to get these young girls pregnant, to lock them up, and to change the world by repopulating it with his sperm, I guess. They really gloss over that in any kind of official reporting, right? So you're only going to hear about that deep dive stuff from the people who have really gone and looked at what Epstein was up to. But this has always just kind of blown my mind. Why would you inject yourself into, something that is so public that you're going to get busted? And then this guy managed to get $200,000 in the PPP loans. He's 24 years old. Where the hell is this shit coming from? I have a bunch of 24-year-old kids, and let me tell you, they don't even know the first thing about applying for something like that. So, well educated. I don't know. Is he a patsy? Maybe he's a patsy for a bunch of shit, and they just dumped it all on him. We don't know this stuff anymore, right? So, kind of a crazy story. Vault 69, yeah. Oh, so let's talk about Florida. Florida is still just buried in debris from Ian, guys. Being the trailer park pundit, I have to bring you trailer park news. This is definitely trailer park news. Our brothers and sisters in Florida are suffering in what looks like a damn war zone. They're not getting it cleaned up. They're living in mold and whatever's growing in the debris from the flooding. And it's awful. I mean, I was shocked when I saw how bad it is, and I think you will be too. So here's a little report on it, and then I have a video of some of Fort Myer and San Carlos. Oh, come on. Stop it. Go back. There we go.
Well, this is Sunrise Drive in North Fort Myers, a neighborhood badly damaged and flooded by Hurricane Ian. And it's been 30 days since the storm, and these massive piles of soggy, moldy debris have been stinking up the neighborhood, and many are concerned they could be making people sick.
Mucky, disgusting, like from the bottom of the river, almost like.
For Cynthia Lacini of Sunrise Drive in North Fort Myers, the pile of debris outside her house is more than just garbage. It's memories.
This take everything out of our house for 30 years that we lived here on the road here, streets. It had to come all out.
After 3 feet of storm surge and extensive cleanup, she and her husband, Joe, have a debris pile 7 feet high. And they aren't the only ones.
They say get it out of your house as fast as you can, but yet they let it sit here like this for us. So what's the difference, really?
All this soggy stuff is growing who knows what, and they have to smell it every day. Now she says the mold is making her and her neighbors sick.
Definitely. I mean, it's like in your throat, in your nose, you can't breathe right. You're constantly smelling this.
Today, the county announced that more debris removal trucks are on the way, and that residents can check when trucks are coming to where you live online.
Sorry if the clips are low. I've got everything cranked as high as it goes. But basically what they're saying is they were told to get everything out of their houses after they had a 3-4 foot storm surge come through. And nobody's doing anything to come pick up the waste. I mean, it's just sitting out there. I'm sure it's getting rats and bugs, and it's Florida. There's a ton of shit that will go live in that stuff. And not to mention the black mold and, the diseases that grow in all that wet, moldy crap. So this one doesn't have sound. I'm just going to play it and you guys can take a look. Oh, it does have sound, but we'll start it down. Look at this. miles and miles of piles of broken
Now the
houses.
situation along Fort Myers Beach, San Carlos, is a different situation.
Look at all of these trailers.
Now we did a video here before the hurricane in this neighborhood. We were in this neighborhood right before the hurricane, like maybe a week before the hurricane. We did a video here. So I would like to do a before and after, but I don't think it's really possible. I wouldn't even know where to start, really. So we actually did videos in this mobile home park, like I said, before the hurricane. I don't know how I would do it before and after because I don't even think you can get in there anymore. So it's wild.
It just goes and goes for miles and miles like this. Busted houses. People's lives. Those are people's lives out there in piles, right? That they had a normal functioning life a month ago. Then Ian comes through and this is what they have. And yeah, let's see. I had a good comment over here. I want to read you guys. One Love says DeSantis was just bragging about getting FEMA funding for removing debris from private residents. I apparently they have maps on certain days. They'll come pick stuff up. I mean, even if they were out there working 24/7, I don't see how this will get cleaned up in any kind of timely manner. But it looks like the Salton Sea. Kate, you and I are going to take a trip to the Salton Sea one day because I want to go there. There's lithium under the Salton Sea, and that's going to be where they're going to go next for lithium when they can't go steal it from another country. So, middle of California is going to get busy. I thought I saw another. Stop moving on me. Anyways, yeah, Jilly, I agree. Jilly says this is what a collapsing country looks like. Absolutely, right? That is so bad. I just feel for those people. Their whole lives are just in a rotten pile in their front yard, stinking, and they can't even get rid of it. So I try to bring you guys those stories because those are stories nobody else is really talking about. And those are people in our country. It's not like they're far removed. They're, on the other side of the world. That's Florida, man. That's Florida. And they're living like that. Can you imagine if it was us? So very sad. Okay, so we're getting to the end of the show, but I have 2 movie reviews for you guys because I went on a nuclear movie watching adventure on Sunday. You all kept telling me, watch Threads, watch Threads, watch Threads. I watched Threads. I was absolutely fucking horrified. But I found another movie after I watched Threads called When the Wind Blows, which is a cartoon that the music producer was Roger Waters and the cover song was David Bowie. So let's take a look at both of these trailers. And then I've got the movies. I'm going to drop them in the chat. So if you got nothing to do for the next 4 hours, you can sit and watch both of these 80s horrific movies. But they are going to remind you that nobody survives a nuclear strike. Nobody, because it's called nuclear fallout. So let's watch this one. Hopefully I won't take a strike for these or copyright claim.
The United States government has been forced, reluctantly, to take action to safeguard what it believes are legitimate Western interests in the Middle East. We are confident that the Soviet Union will take note of our resolve and will desist from its present perilous course of action.
There's growing evidence overnight from scientists and observers in many countries that there have been 2 nuclear explosions in the Middle East.
In response to today's news of the outbreak of hostilities between vessels of the United States and Soviet navies,
Ministry of Defense has announced it's sending more troops to Europe to reinforce the British commitment to NATO.
This time, They are playing with, at best, the destruction of life as we know it, and at worst, total annihilation. You cannot win a nuclear war.
The time has now come to make everything ready for you and your family in case an air attack happens. When you hear the attack warning, you and your family must take cover at once. The most widespread danger is fallout.
Quite good. Attack warning. Is it for real? Attack warning. It's for bloody real. Is it? You can't just do a face like that. Go get a titty sign or something. Come on, quick, get down! Hell.
That movie absolutely terrified me. I watch scary movies. I'm not scared by much, but this movie scared me because it was so deadly accurate in all of the different responses, because you have people downplaying it, people saying it'll never happen. You have the activists who are just being beat by the cops. And the final scene of this movie was the scariest part of this movie. And they don't, you're just going to have to watch it, guys. You're going to have to. Let me see if I can get out of here and find you guys the link. Here we go. You're going to have to watch it. And it shows you that no matter what happens, we're not going to survive. The human race, will survive, but we're not going to survive in a sense that we're going to thrive. It's basically going to set us back. Oh, I do have a Rockfin up. Hold on. I'm trying to get to Rockfin so I can drop it for the Rockfin chat. How do I get to the chat? Here we go. How do I get to the bottom? Come on. But we won't survive. We absolutely, our children's children won't survive. I mean, there will be no food. There will be nuclear winter. There will be, making me mad. Let's go over here. There we go. Here you guys go over on the Rockfin. There's movie 1. So if you're bored later, there you go. And then, of course, the second movie I came across, because it just automatically started playing. And you can watch these free on YouTube. You can watch them on Tubi. I found them on Tubi. But yes, you can watch them on YouTube. Julie's been telling me to watch Threads for a while now. I'm glad I did. And here, I'm going to drop you the second link now. This one is called When the Wind Blows. And it was a famous book that came out, I want to say in the 70s or 80s. And David Bowie sings the opening song, and Roger Waters was the music producer on it. I found it. I liked both of them. The cartoon, at first I was like, I can't really get into this animation, but I did get into it. And the hypocrisy in it is just these people trying to follow the government's instructions, right? The book says we got to do this. The book says we got to do that. This is how we survive. I mean, they're just oblivious to what's really going on. So I'm going to let you watch the trailer to that one. If I can get back up into slideshow mode. There we go. And yeah, go check these out.
So long, child, it's awful dark, and I've never felt the sun. I dread to think of when the wind blows, when the wind blows, when the wind blows. When the wind blows.
Just look at all that mess out there.
A bit of fresh air is all we need. They also make a cloud of deadly dust, which falls slowly to the ground. This is what is called fallout.
What's going to happen when the average man in the street
hears that there's going to be a nuclear attack in 3 days' time. He dies, of course.
When the Wind Blows, now it's being made into a full-length cartoon film.
As a young man, I entered the world of animation filmmaking. I traveled the world directing feature films.
It's just such an absurd thing that they're doing now, sitting on their deck chairs, soaking in the fallout.
We've got plenty of time. The situation is well in hand, you bet.
It's Threads for Kids is what it says on it. I'm sure that, you know, this movie came out in the 80s. I was a kid. It never came across my purview. It just automatically started playing after I was done watching Threads, and I was like, what is this? And I was like, is that David Bowie singing? So then I paid attention a little longer, and next thing you know, I got sucked in and watched the whole thing. Oh my God. I mean, I think every American screaming, I support Ukraine, should be forced to sit down and watch both of these movies back to back, because they probably rethink their support of Ukraine and their cries to use a nuke on Russia. Are you insane? It doesn't just take out Russia. It doesn't stay on that side of the globe. Do you not understand how our atmosphere works? I mean, this is just mind-blowing that we are even having these conversations. So if you guys are bored today, tomorrow, whatever, check out these movies. The links are in the chats for both of them. You can find them on YouTube. You can find them on Tubi. It's When the Wind Blows and Threads. So just some movie reviews. Thank you, Julie, for bringing these to my attention. And maybe not thank you, because it was a little bit scary, but that's how I spent my Sunday. We get to the end of the show here, but I can never leave out Assange. If you want a free press, we must free Assange, and don't turn your back on Assange. Face the truth. # we are all Assange. And I'm sitting here today with a copy, or with a strike, because we are all Assange and we're all being censored, right? And I just want to thank you guys for finding me. You guys found me. Thank you so much. If you haven't subbed to my backup channel on YouTube, which is Trailer Park Pundit, please go sub to it, because for at least the next week, maybe 2, I think Beauty and the Boomer might be taking a 2-week hit. This is where I'm going to be. So things are going to be a little up in the air and crazy this week. I don't think we'll probably be doing a Beauty and the Boomer unless Oz wants to do it here. But I will be doing stuff on all of my regular days. I don't know. We'll probably do a Q&A on Thursday with the little, court TV type stuff. And then, I don't know, we'll do something Sunday. We'll hang out. You guys are my friends. You guys are my fams. And I got to say, you guys made me feel better today. I was so pissed. And so, you work so hard at this. We don't work hard at this because we want to get famous or make money, because we don't do either of those. I do this because it's our community and it's for you guys. I mean, when I don't feel like getting out of bed at 4:00 in the morning and writing a show, I just think, I know you guys are looking forward to it. So that's what propels me. And you guys coming in this morning, finding me, sharing out the link, you made me feel better. You lifted me up. And that's what this community is about. So thank you so much. And Oz, I'm sorry. I knew it was bad on Thursday, and that's why I took it down originally, but I apologize to you. We shouldn't have taken those hits. We know how to play by the rules, and we got sung. Thank you, DC, for this Super Ray. Damn the YouTube man. Yes. So for right now, you could buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/trailerpark. Yeah, I'm just Trailer Park. Or, of course, all of our different apps that are in the link below if you want to help me out. But we appreciate you guys tuning in, sharing, liking, and I look forward to everything you guys are sending me. You guys write these shows, man. It's your links, it's your tips, it's your stories that I'm bringing to you guys. So I hope you guys have a good November 1st, and let's hope no nukes drop on us anytime soon. And I think we're done for the day. So we will go out with Violent Femme. America is the home of the hypocrite, because we absolutely are the home of the hypocrite. So I will see you on Thursday, and have a great day.
America is, America is, America is, America is, America is our home. America is flags. Look at the figures. Look at the facts. Look at the facts. The facts, not the lies. And you'll find out. Big surprise. That America is the home of the hypocrite. America is the home of the hypocrite. America is the home of the hypocrite. American dreams are full of it. Check out the Indians, check out the blacks, and then you check out the figures, then you check out the facts. Check out some facts. Check out the facts, not the lies, and you'll find out. It's a big surprise. Like between the eyes that America is the home of the hypocrite. America is the home of the hypocrite. America is the home of the hypocrite. American dreams, only dream. No desperation limit. No desperation level. Even though my nose don't work, I smell trouble. I smell trouble. No desperation limit. No desperation level. Murder in the government. Say you're sorry, say you're sorry. No desperation limit, no desperation level. Turn the key, turn the lock. Nationalism, you can suck mine. No desperation limit, no desperation level. Watch how the world's progressing everywhere. Aggression, 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 aggression.